Let's go, strong, 5 to go. Come on.
Yeah, Lydia said she started the bank right back.
D, 2 deep, D. Gamma, 2 deep. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I reckon it's fine.
Do you need to do a sound check? Oh, go. Do sound check now? Okay. So, testing 1, 2. NPL New South Wales Women's, round 13, Northbridge Oval. We're set for Bulls FC Academy versus APIA Leichhardt. Do I keep going? Should be good? Okay.
What happened? I'm gonna do another really quick one just for the NPL.
Really? Okay.
So, just another sound check? Okay. Testing, 1, 2. So, we're all set at Northbridge Oval for NPL Women's New South Wales Round 13. Bulls FC Academy versus APIA Leichhardt. How's that sensation?
Sir, Simon, so who are you on with? Hogan, centre referee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. It is an absolutely gorgeous day on the lower North Shore here in Sydney, and we are at Northbridge Oval for what will be an absolutely titanic clash between two highly talented teams in NPL Women's New South Wales. We finished the first half of the season with what could be a blockbuster. It's Bulls FC Academy versus APIA Leichhardt. Eric Subihana here, perched high up on this lovely vantage point here at Northbridge Oval, and for the Bulls in their customary black kits, which actually it's a change that the Bulls have made for the 2025 season, and these kits look very distinctive, and the Bulls hoping to be distinctive on the field as the teams look to build towards the second half of the season and make a push for finals. That's also the case for APIA Leichhardt, and they're in their traditional kit of the maroon jerseys with the light blue shorts. So I might just go through the two lineups as we saw the two captains, Liz Gray for Bulls and Ashley Crofts for APIA Leichhardt doing the pre-match formalities. But the starting lineups, let's start with Bulls. So we actually think both teams will be 4-3-3. So for the Bulls, in goal, number 1, Mia Nemoto. And then in defense, number 12, Jasmine Melly. Number 5, Liz Gray. Number 18, Gemma Ferris. And number 8, Claudia Valletta. In midfield, I think it will be number 10, Tamira Souza, number 7, Avani Prakash, and number 23, Indiana Dos Santos. And the three up front, and what an exciting front three this is. Number 17, Janeo Dos Santos. Number 20, Amber Lookmeyer, last season's Golden Boot. And number 14, Petria Phillips. So Bulls are coached by Marty Garces. Now for APIA Leichhardt. And by the way, an early birthday shout out to the APIA Leichhardt head coach, Brad Attard. Yes, it is his birthday. Does fall on a game day. But for APIA, as I said, we also think 4-3-3. In goal, number 1, Sophie Magus. In defense, number 13, Jordan Jasnos. Number 4, Jessica Seaman. Number 5, Teal Kilbride. And number 2, Claudia Chico. In midfield, number 16, Estelle Fragale. Number 6, Mona Walker. And number 38, Alyssa Rose. And speaking of talented attacks, how about these three players? Number 7, Charlotte Lancaster. Number 18, Sophie Hoban. And number 11, the Golden Boot from the season before last, 2023. It is Ashley Crofts. So there we go. I'll do a quick reminder of the benches later on in the game, but right on cue, there's the whistle from the referee, Lara Hogan. Away we go. And to complete the third team shout-out, because of course you can't have organised football without match officials, assistant closest to us is Simon Ashari, and the assistant on the scoreboard side of Northbridge Oval is Lucas Klosterhoff. Valletta, an early tackle from Hoban, who, like quite a few plays in this league, as Claudia Chico, committed the foul there on Liz Gray. Hoban, just like Claudia Chico and Jessica Seaman and Claudia Valletta. Actually, I might as well complete that thought while I'm at it. Who else have we got? Gemma Ferris, the DeSanto sisters, Indiana and Janeo. All of them, I probably missed someone, but all of the players just mentioned recently rejoined this wonderful competition after the completion of their A-League women commitments. Well, just briefly expanding on the Jessica Seaman topic. She was announced in pre-season as a big signing for APIA Leichhardt. Jessica Seaman playing against her old club, by the way. She made the switch from Bulls to APIA after the conclusion of the 2024 season. But in the meantime, there was a stint in A-League Women with Central Coast Mariners, and Jessica Seaman now has an A-League Women Championship winners medal in her possession. As here's Phillips. Out wide to, I think that's Janeo Dos Santos who started out wide, and now I'm getting less and less confident about my prediction of the Bulls formation pre-match, but we'll go on. Lookmeyer charging into the middle, and Margus off a line, but bodies hitting the synthetic turf, and the touch last off Bulls. And we're just going to check. And it was Jordan Jasnos protecting Magus with the shepherding there. Good to see Jordan Jasnos is okay to continue. So, I did mention the players who have recently returned from A-League Women. Judy's, of course, if you talk about former A-League Women players, that's pretty much everyone else on the field. With a few exceptions, it does show you the talent that we have on show for us here today. As Gray. Up. And sideways, so Melly will not get the contact she wanted, and I think APIA will settle for the early throw-in in an attacking position. And APIA not often they kept scoreless, but they were scoreless in last weekend's women's match of the round at Lambert Park, a place where you can get some fantastic coffee and an excellent chicken roll. Make sure you get the chili mayo with your chicken rolls whenever you're at an APIA home game, but APIA's last outing, a 0-0 draw against Illawarra Stingrays. Always tough games between those two teams. And for Bulls, if memory serves me correctly, I hope I haven't been done by the passage of time, I'm pretty sure their last outing was quite dramatic. Down 2-0 at the Arctic Circle against Gladesville Ravens, but they ended up winning 3-2. All goals coming, I think, in the final 25 minutes of the game. In fact, it was something like 88th and 91st minute goals from Amber Lookmeyer to win the 3 points for Bulls FC Academy 7 days ago in Macquarie Park. So Amber Lookmeyer, fresh off her first A-League women's stint with Sydney FC, as that goes out for a goal kick, and Amber scored her first A-League women goal, I think, away to Western United late last year. Now, she's gone back to Bulls, and it did not take her long at all to get back onto the score sheet. And the forecast of goals is quite high, as I did say earlier. We have the golden boots from the last 2 seasons on the field, Ashley Cross for 2023 and Amber Lookmeyer for last year. So, as there's a brief tussle and a free kick won by Estelle Fregali. I do wonder, of course, it's probably just a case of it looking worse than it actually is, but that's a little extra strip running diagonally, which I believe is for cricket. Let's hope it doesn't affect the play too much, as Walker finds Fregali centre circle and going left to Jasnos. Seaman sideways to Kilbride and then back to Seaman. By the way, just going to flag this early, I do love the nominative determinism of Jessica Seaman having a playing stint with Central Coast Mariners, and it was certainly smooth sailing for one of this league's most experienced defenders, as Mona Walker receives an early yellow card from Lara Hogan. She's not standing for any of that, and the first yellow card going to the visitors. Anyway, if you are, I suppose this is theoretically possible, if you're one of those people who knows how to use the dribble app, is following you, is perhaps looking at that to keep a track of the lineups as you're watching this. Firstly, we thank you for your support of NPL Women's New South Wales and the Football New South Wales YouTube page. But yes, I do believe in dribble. It is, the RPA number 6 is listed by her full name, which is Terera Mona Walker, but it's easy to just call her Mona. And it is Walker, and it was Indiana Dos Santos with the foot in there. Out for a Bulls throw. They're going direct to Lookmeyer. Isolated handball shouts, which are not heeded. And Ferris under pressure from Crofts. And Ferris with the turn. A very brief sartorial note, and I'm glad, especially chatting to APIA folk in the pre-game, as I did notice one of the APIA subs, Christina Kachich, she's on the bench today, does from a distance look a lot like Ashley Crofts, but the way I used to tell this is that Ashley wore green boots, but she's also changed her boots for today, so I'm glad I got that little heads up. So if you are an Ashley Crofts super fan, and certainly don't blame you, as Lookmeyer crosses and big chance. Great one-on-one save from Magus. The follow-up from Indiana Dos Santos. A couple of efforts, nothing coming of it, but that was brilliant from the APIA shot stopper, because Lookmeyer, we know about her goal scoring. Great ball across to find Janea Dos Santos, but Magus got the angle spot on, and that'll please the APIA goalkeeping coaches. As APIA try to play out from the back. But to complete my sartorial note, yes, if you are an Ashley Crofts super fan, firstly, congratulations on being a football connoisseur, but also I do believe she's got relatives watching that just would appreciate the assistance in picking her out. Yes, Ashley has the lime green armband on her left arm. So lime green, just like the colours of her old futsal club, Mountain Magic, but she's also in the pale boots with the pink patterns. Hopefully that helps at least one of our viewers. Hoban running it out, got past two, and then a big 50-50 between her and Liz Gray. Hoban now. Hoban must feel like she's surrounded by bulls. Now it's Tamirez. The home side in possession. That will get away from Indiana Dos Santos. Of course, we did have a game in this competition yesterday at the Arctic Circle, and it was the league leaders Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Well, they'll lead the league for a bit more as they were victorious on their trip to Macquarie Park. 2 first-half goals and a 2-0 win for Mount Druitt. As Crofts plays into the middle, and that's going to be easy for Nomoto. For Mount Druitt, I think the goal after, what, a minute and 5 seconds from, or something like that, from Lena Karmas, and then another strike midway through the first half from Adelaide Wyszynski. And those 2 goals earning 3 points for the team from Popondetta Park. Other 6 games in this round being played today, as is the custom for NPL Women's games to be played on the Sunday, as Tamirez and then Janeo Dos Santos. The ball down the line, thinks the 2 Kiwis combining. There's Walker finding Lancaster. Attempted switch toward Crofts. Over her head. Who's the touch off last? Off APIA last. For a Bulls throw. Yes. I do like this early time slot, and yes, of course, especially we do appreciate that in the cooler months, some earlier kickoffs. But Bulls, they play their first grade before they're under 23s, so the women's under 23s set to kick off at about 4:40 p.m. here. And we've got some lovely sunshine for the first grade game. And did know though there was a late fixture change for the game that will commence pretty much at the conclusion of this one. Seaman is across to deal with the danger. But yes, if you love watching more than one game in a day, Chico can't keep that in. And after this one, you could pretty much switch straight over to the 4:35 p.m. kickoff in NPL Women's. It's between Elora Stingrays and Gladesville Ravens at Ian McLennan Oval. The other 4 NPL Women's games today, including Manly versus Sydney University. And the match of the round, the battle of the kids between Wanderers Academy and Jets Academy. But the latest of the 4 games to be played today, all at 5 p.m. As there's a collision and halfway. RPA go on. Down the left to Lancaster. And Lancaster wants it on the left foot, I think, and then just overplayed it a little bit. So it's good patient defending, I think, from Jasmine Melly, the fullback there, to prevent the cross. Intercepted by Rose. Now Lancaster holds off the challenge. And Lancaster, she'll drill it in, and needed safe hands there from Nomoto from a Bulls perspective, because Ashley Crofts making a well-timed run to the far post, hoping to pick up on any scraps. As Chico gets there ahead of Lukmeyer. Chico decides to play safe. Throwing left for Claudia Valletta, who recently, over the summer, made her A-League Women debut. She spent the summer with Perth Glory. She's back in her home city and back for another season with Bulls FC Academy. Also interesting note there, on Valletta, despite her surname being the capital of Malta, I do believe she's not Maltese. It's like how, kind of similar to how our fellow commentator Melissa Muscat is Maltese, not Omani. But anyway, header from Lukmeyer, and then cleared by Jasnos. Up almost the shoulder of Phillips, and then up, and I think Rose. Crofts was offside. Away on the Bulls bench as they play it out from the back. I think, judging by these names, the backup keeper would be Ashley Hughes. As Walker steps in there. Now Lancaster low and across the face of goal. I think the Motor had that covered, but again, it's that Kiwi connection. And Mona Walker and Charlotte Lancaster, both Kiwi youth international, both New Zealand youth internationals. And Charlotte Lancaster, who has a cannon of a left boot, is threatening the Bulls goal there. If you're kind of less familiar with the way Charlotte Lancaster plays, trust. We have seen this a few times already since she joined APIA Leichhardt for the start of the 2024 season. Charlotte Lancaster, known for scoring direct from the corner. She's done that, I think, 3 times for APIA Leichhardt. And that's one of the reasons that some people in the media call Charlotte the Kiwi Katie McCabe. Here's a Valletta. Phillips and then Prakash. Back to Phillips. Inside, but it's Rose breaking it up. Open player Jasnos wants to start a run down the left. So Janeo Dos Santos has to defend, and Jasnos, once again, looks like Lancaster getting a lot of action early on. And safety first from Jasmine Melly. And yes, back to the topic of the Bulls bench here. Yes, Ashley Hughes, backup keeper. So the others players we could see later on. Ashley Henneberry, Anna Hogarth-Scott, Daniela Naimi. As Gray clears into over the sideline. Then Grace Johns and Jade Wishon. While for APIA, their backup keeper is Paige Cuthill. And the other players we could see later, Mia Golding, Christina Kachich, Zoe Panagopoulos, Hannah McNulty, and Ashley Brodigan. Crofts drifting over to APIA's left formation in this phase of play, and now the 2 number 7s doing battle. And the Lancaster, well, she tried to turn it in. Smart work by Prakash to win it straight back. Here's Lukmeyer. He's got between the defenders. There is one option in the middle. Indiana Dos Santos, that's where it goes. And then Chico blocking the shot. And then Barnes, I think, in there, back there as well to defend. Now Rose. Good tempo to this game, 15 minutes played. Goalless between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt. NPL Women's New South Wales round 13. I do like to see this, both teams really comfortable and they're really wanting to play out from the back and maintain possession. That's broken up by Janea Dos Santos there. Now, Margus going long, and Souza was up there. But instead it's Rose. I do believe Rose, just like Jessica Seaman, a former Bulls player now at APIA, as there's a little bit of a tumble. And then Liz Gray read that and needed to. It might turn into an attack, that tackle from Liz Gray, but Jess Seaman, and I must say, will need to get used. It's a very familiar sight the last 3 years of Liz Gray and Jessica Seaman playing together in the central defence for Bulls. Those two instrumental in the Bulls promotion campaign from League One Women's in 2022, and then staying together with the Bulls over the last 2 seasons in NPL, but now on opposing sides. Kilbride with the one-on-one defending against Prakash, I think it was. Now, first corner of the game going to the hosts. Here's Gray aiming very far, almost beyond the back post, for sure it starts running into the middle. And it's a decent delivery to the far post. Headed back from Janeo Dos Santos, cleared by Crofts. Now, potential for APIA count. attack here. Walker is fouled by Ferris. Yep, so APIA set piece. You'd think too long. You'd think it'd be too long for a direct shot, although you never know with Charlotte Lancaster on the dead ball, but looks like they're preparing for a lob ball into the middle, and APIA's turn for an attacking set piece. Kilbride, Seaman and Chico providing the height as well, so yes, Amber Lookmeyer has gone back. It's everyone back for Bulls. Mia Nomoto positions the two-player wall. Lobbed in from Lancaster, and Walker could be free. In fact, there's a header. It's a brilliant save, and it's going to be a tap-in for Mona Walker. No, it's not. It's offside. The flag's up, so this is not going to count. Very, very short-lived joy for the visitors. And, well, by the way, let's not take away from the save by Mia Nomoto. We don't know who was offside exactly, but she didn't know the flag was going to go up, and it was a flying save from the Bull shot stopper to deny that header. Well, Bulls, they've got their warning about what Lancaster offers from the dead ball. Ferris, pass around the corner, back pass to the keeper, and back. It's a little bit of a mix-up here. Ferris taking it off Nomoto. Tamiris trying to win a 50-50. It deflects towards Walker, who did notice Walker wearing a red bow, which will make her easier to pick out. So thanks, Mona, for standing out in a sartorial sense as well as a football sense. And Walker to find Hoban. Now Fragale. Fragale to Lancaster. The flag's going to stay down. Lancaster up against Melly. The second defender is Janaea Dos Santos, but she's found Fragale. In swinger, safe hands from Nomoto. Yeah, really pressing Amber Lookmeyer. Got two players on her. And then it's Phillips, and that's a nice ball out to Janaea Dos Santos, who's one-on-one with Jordan Jasnos, not for long. Good tackle. Jasnos, she didn't play safe. Tried to run it out. Found Lissa Rose provided the support, but this time, well, Lancaster, she's made quite a few runs already in the opening 20 minutes. Oh, wow, hasn't the time flown by in this one. But Lancaster wasn't going to reach that pass. Here's Liz Gray. Better from Seaman to Hoban. Hoban dispossessed. Tamiris ended up, sorry, Sozo ended up with it for the Bulls. Now, Melly, far too straight for any of her teammates. Margus towards halfway. Flick from Lancaster towards Crofts, and Crofts has found a player, and Crofts might get it back. How's the first touch? Well, that was always going to be difficult, and the hand up an apology from Melissa Rose. But to be fair on Rose, a straight ball to a straightish run, always going to be difficult to get that spot on. There's Chico. Finds the ball in the air, but goes pretty much straight over the sideline, and in fact right in front of the Bulls' technical area. Throwing aimed towards Lookmeyer, and Lookmeyer, ooh, hang on. She's got to make sure that's not a head knock. Well, she's definitely not a head knock because Lookmeyer got back up and was fine to continue. And Lara Hogan just making doubly sure, because for a brief second it looked like Lookmeyer copped that one in the face, but good to see that she's fine to continue. Janaea Dos Santos now to Phillips, and now Prakash, but Estelle Fragale, excellent tackle. Hoban, I might have overran that slightly. So now it's Souza. And Souza to Indiana Dos Santos. Now, could open up here, and Phillips couldn't find Lookmeyer. But Lookmeyer, well, we've got a brief taste of what she offers, because she's timing those runs. She's always looking to find space in behind, and Lookmeyer just can't keep that in play. She's very quick. Lookmeyer will run all game, and actually, in my observation around the Lookmeyer, possibly an underrated part of her game is how useful she is at leading the press from the front. Because I've seen this a few times with Lookmeyer. Like, you think you've got time on the ball as a defender, and then she closes the space, and then she takes the ball off you. So APIA, I'm sure, will be well aware of that. As Chico, just recently of Newcastle Jets in A-League Women, and I believe scored her first A-League Women goal in a Unite round in a 1-1 draw against Western United at Kogarah. Chico back at her for the first NPL team. She did spend time at Institute, but very much one of APIA Leichhardt's own, as Chico down the line to Crofts. It's Valletta, and then Gray smacks it into Crofts. Gray smacks it into Crofts again. And now, down the line, here's Lancaster, who's drifted near side. Head up looking for options. Lancaster, well, thought she was faced up into a cul-de-sac. She's actually done quite well. Now she finds Jessica Seaman. This is the furthest forward she's been in free play. Here's Jasnos. And Jasnos. And that's Janeo Dos Santos, who's did well going back in defence, to at least slow that attack down. Now Seaman. Oh, that's uncharacteristic from Jessica Seaman, to say the least. By the way, shout out to Lockie, who's tuning in, just wants me to point out that Northbridge isn't in MacArthur. Yes, I know. I travelled east for this game, not south, so yes. Yes. Just to clarify, the team name MacArthur, they wear maroon and they play at Linwood Park. But as per your dribble app and the official competitions website, today's host, Bulls FC Academy. As Seaman. Now Hoban, and lovely drop of the shoulder from Fregale. Now the switch. The diagonal helped on by Lancaster, so room for Chico. Overlapping for the first time. Finds the cross, laid off, and Lancaster hits the synthetic turf, and that's going to be a penalty. Foul committed by Souza. Lancaster got to the ball first, was bundled over, and APIA in the 26th minute have a chance to take the lead. It's going to be Ashley Crofts. Recently reached double figures again, 10 for the season. And by the way, just to clarify that, if you've seen the comps website, she definitely has 10, not 9. She was robbed of a goal somewhere earlier this season. Trust me, she's got 10 goals. And the APIA skipper up against Mio Nomoto. Could be a big moment. Here we go. And Crofts, unstoppable into the bottom corner. And APIA Leichhardt lead by a 1-0 in Northbridge. It's APIA's number 11 with her 11th of the season. And the first blood has been drawn by those in maroon. It wouldn't have mattered if Mia Nomoto dived the right way. She was not saving that. It's an expert penalty kick. For Lookmeyer, and then here's Jasnos. Prakash retrieving for the Bulls, and I think that's going to be a foul called against Fregale. So Bulls with a chance from an attacking set piece. Once again, defenders up from the back. Prakash to deliver to the near post, and Lukmaya got there first, but it's into the... Well, it's going to reach the very, very, very large net. That's behind the goal to our left. Given how the land drops off, we are thankful for such a big net, because actually, I see. Actually, just had a proper look at what's behind that goal. Yeah, I can see why there's such a big net. Because there's a golf course behind this lovely field here in Northbridge.
Yes, okay! Crofty! Give me something there! Go! Open up, Jordan! Open up, Jordan!
Yeah, very keenly fought contest, which is what you love to see. And Crofts might have turned grey here, and Crofts trying for the ball. So Lancaster has been forced wide. She will retrieve it. The support is coming into the middle. Lancaster trying to improve the position. Now she delivers across, and here's Crofts. Ended up a little bit behind her. Actually, not apologies. That's not Ashley Crofts. My bad. That was Claudia Chico, actually. Claudia Chico committing the foul. And Claudia Chico, well, she was a forward when she was at Institute, and found herself in the centre forward position there as Seaman sorts it out between herself and Kilbride. Just about at the half-hour mark here. And if you missed any of the action, of course, on YouTube streaming, it's free. You don't even need an account. Foul by Hoban. And actually quickly taken free kick. So it's Tamiris, and balls rushed out a little bit too much. Lancaster with the tackle, which sees the ball go over the sideline. But yes, if you've missed any of the action, just click back on your YouTube stream. But the thing that separates the two teams, a 26-minute penalty from APIA captain Ashley Crofts. That's why APIA lead by goal to nil. Perhaps looking for a second, but Gray, she didn't win the challenge against Hoban. So Valletta's going to get involved. And then Gray. Actually run from centre back, and then firstly, let's make sure Gray is all right. So good sporting behaviour from the other captain, Ashley Crofts. And in fact, Miyamoto has good goalkeeping. He's offered Ferris and Gray a drink of water. But good to see Liz Gray is okay to continue. Didn't need the physio. Miyamoto also is chucking the ball over the sideline, so it's a good thing Bulls have the ball, because Namoto is quite a way out of position as Bulls attack. Now she's back in the kind of a sweeper-keeper role, well off her line, but she's at least central. Seaman beat Lukmai to the ball there. Now, Magus started to come for that, but it was cleared anyway, as Lancaster does not keep that in play. Souza force away through. Jazz Nos might have lost Eddie. Janeo Dos Santos should be a tap in. Indiana Dos Santos has somehow played it back across the face, giving APIA the chance to clear. The Dos Santos sisters nearly combined. It was not to be, and APIA stay in front. Valletta with the throw in. Off Kilbride. Going to be a corner. Here's the in-swinger. And Magus gets 2 fingertips on it and has it forced over the line. It is by Tamira Souza. And the set piece has got the job done for Bulls. It was a vicious in-swinging delivery which APIA couldn't clear. And there we go. And holding up the jersey in celebration as well. There's Tamira Souza, who scored, from memory, 45 goals in the Bulls promotion season of 2022. Well, she showed her goal poaching instincts that time. And it's Bulls 1, APIA 1. Header from Jasnos, but cleared by Melly. Now, it's a bit frantic. There's kind of a brief, as I was doing my research pre-game. Stopped giggling, I actually do research, but it did come to my attention as Melly does well to block. It's now APIA and Hoban in the centre circle. So the wide option is Chico getting well forward. Valletta to scramble and does well. It will be a throw-in, but now Ashley Crofts for APIA entered this game with 98 goals across NPL Women's, New South Wales First Grade and the Sapphire Cup. So obviously, my maths isn't the best, but that goal she scored about 8 minutes ago has made it 99. So APIA's number 11, very, very, very close to a milestone. Looking to build. Hoban. Now the ball to Crofts, who is offside. So number 100 will have to wait. Just bear with me, I'll finally finish my long black. Oh, there we go. Gray puts her right foot absolutely through that ball. Ball's trying the right side and ended up being behind Phillips. So Seaman forward to Lancaster. Walker didn't like her options forward and goes back. Seaman switches left. Here's Lancaster. Supporting run is from Melissa Rose. And Rose played it behind the runner. Now, interesting ball, possibly to, yeah, there was Phillips there, but Jasnos getting back just in time. Actually, the presence of the Dos Santos sisters reminds me, I hope I'm correct with this, as Janea is dispossessed on the sideline, but I think they used to play their futsal at Campbelltown City Quake, which is now, by the way, they're now called MacArthur Quake, but of course the presence of at least 2 former Quake futsal players means I can do my contractually obliged Mel Keith shout out, because the futsal super coach is tuning in, and I hope you're enjoying the coverage, Mel. Mel Keith now at now at Harcoa, and won last year's, what's the full name of that championship? The Futsal Premier League Open Women's Championship. Yeah, was it mouthful? Forgive my memory. I was at the Futsal Premier League 2 Grand Final day, so yes. Apologies if it doesn't come to mind immediately, but yeah. And to be honest, I'd be absolutely shocked if Mel Keith has only coached 2 players that are on the field right now. Usually when I call a women's game, the number's like 6, 7, or 8, something like that. As Phillips, actually Walker with the tackle and got the touch off Phillips, so it's going to be an APIA throw. Oh, already near the latter stages of the first half. 1-1 between Bulls and APIA. Goals for Ashley Crofts and Tamira Souza. Actually, as that will be cleared by Gray. Actually, my recent mention of Harcoa futsal has reminded me Tamira Souza once played for futsal for Harcoa. Actually, she might even have done so in the last summer, but I'm not sure about that. Oh no, not bad. Tamira Souza played for UTS in the last Futsal Premier League. As it's out, and Magus retrieves it for the goal kick. It's going to be Fragale. She's the short option temporarily, but Magus decided to go along. And Hoban, flick on from Crofts, and it went centrally when Lancaster was in a little bit of space out wide. Ball now with Bulls. Runs away from Rose to Souza, and then Fragale decides to go back. Magus long, and Nelly gets the first play at it for Bulls. There's Prakash. And Prakash, nice running pass. Lookmeyer, stopped by Kilbride. Janea dos Santos. And that could have been awkward for Fragale, and Lookmeyer pounced on the loose touch. Souza. And they're playing a move to the left. Indiana dos Santos cutting inside. He's found room. Chance maybe for a shot. Rides the challenge. And after all that, Chico with the last disc lunge. It will be a corner, which I believe is Bull's third of the game. And Indiana dos Santos look to have no room whatsoever. But, oh well, actually, after all that will not be their third corner of the game. Now, there's another chance for Bulls and room for Phillips, who'll go from range, and it swings wide of Magus's right-hand post. Patria Phillips got quite a few goals over the last 2 seasons. Actually, my main memory of her from commentary is a hat-trick. Pretty sure Patria Phillips scored a hat-trick the last time I was here for commentary, the final round of last season when Bulls defeated Manly. It was a pretty decent effort there from the Bulls, number 14. Chico. Thrown out by Tamira Souza, but there you go. When in doubt, throw it down the line. And a second throw for Chico from a slightly more advanced position.
Just keep rubbing his chest, you'll be fine.
Bulls did well. I think one of Bulls done well to pin Rose up against the sideline, but APIA retained possession. Down the line, this time Marshall well by Bulls, so goal kick.
Look early. Rolling!
Kilbride, that should be the keepers, and in fact, Ferris and Gray doing well between them just to make sure the keeper had protection. As decision goes Bulls' way. Well, shout out to Megan who's tuning in as well. So we're about to end the first half, and thanks Megan for confirming that my earlier maths was correct. Yes, I thought that 98 plus 1 equaled 99, but it's good to get that second opinion. Valletta, decent fling down the near touchline. Prakash winning in the air. So is Chico. And there's quite a bit of head tennis going on here. Phillips trying to settle it so it's on the turf. And then a 2-on-1 there. And then an APIA throw. There's Gray. And a collision between Walker and Bookmeyer, but everyone's okay. And Kilbride will settle it as two players with a little bit of room. It's Jessica Seaman. And I'm wearing sunglasses at the moment. What's occurred to me is that shadow gets longer and longer. Great footwork from Walker. Lancaster. But as the tempo almost incessant, these two teams, they'll deserve their break at the end of this first half, which is quite soon. We're in stoppage time now with the score at 1-1 between Bulls and APIA. Is there one last chance before Lara Hogan blows the whistle for half time? Walker again with a tidy footwork, but this time Valletta, well, she tried to shepherd it. Walker's won the throw-in. Gray, a very precise header to Prakash. Continues to be played quickly on the near side of the field. And Gray again, and then it's going to be half-time. So the scores are level as the teams head to the dressing sheds. 1-1 between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt in this round 13 NPL Women's New South Wales clash. Great entertainment on a beautiful afternoon here in Northbridge. And you could tell players are really hitting their form as we're now at the midway part of the season. For APIA Leichhardt, as it has been many times over the last 2.5 seasons, it was Ashley Crofts who opened the scoring in the 26th minute from the penalty spot. And Tamira Souza conceded the penalty for Bulls, but she atoned for that mistake 8 minutes later, finishing from close range after a goal-mouth scramble following a corner. This is Eric Subihano with the commentary from Northbridge Oval. Thanks for your support of the Football New South Wales YouTube channel and NPL Women's New South Wales. We'll take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of our NPL Women's New South Wales coverage from Northbridge Oval. I hope you're staying as warm as you can and dry wherever you are. And scores are level as we enter the second period. 1-1 between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt. There's the whistle from the referee Lara Hogan, and away we go. We're scanning the shirt numbers as we players went back out into the field, so I can confirm that APIA have not made any halftime changes. I'm 99.9% confident that's the same. It's the same case for Bulls. If you missed me going through the lineups in the intro to this stream, might just do a quick reminder at the appropriate break in play. Okay, that looks like an appropriate break in play. So for Bulls, the 11 out there, 4-3-3 shape we think. In goal for them, number 1 Mio Nemoto. 4 at the back from left to right, that's number 8 Claudia Valletta, number 18 Gemma Ferris, number 5 the captain Liz Gray, number 12 Jasmine Melly playing that pass right now to Valletta. 3 in midfield, number 10 Tamira Souza, their goal scorer, as well as number 7 Avani Prakash and number 14 Patria Phillips. And the 3 up front, it's the Dos Santos sisters on the flanks. Number 17, Janeo on the right. Number 23, Indiana on the left. And Amber Lookmeyer, number 20, is in the middle. APIA Leichhardt also in a 4-3-3 shape, roughly. So in goal for them, number 1, Sophie Magus. Their back 4 from left to right. Number 13, Jordan Jasnos. Number 4, Jessica Seaman. Number 5, Teal Kilbride. And number 2, Claudia Chico. 3 in midfield. Number 16, Estelle Fregale. Number 6, Mona Walker. And number 38, Alyssa Rose. As it's cut back and Fregale heads away. But that APIA front 3. On the right, their goal scorer, number 11, Ashley Crofts. On the left, number 7, Charlotte Lancaster. And at centre forward, number 18, Sophie Hoban. Goal kick it is. Of course, so look at the clock, 3:48. I think this game will finish, and then, if you so desire, you could pretty much switch over, open a new tab on your browser or switch over on the YouTube app, however you choose to watch this one, and you could watch the 4:35 p.m. kickoff at Ian McLennan Park between Illawarra Stingrays and Gladesville Ravens. And there's also 4 NPL women's games to kick off at 5 p.m. today, as well as the League One Women's Match of the Round. But firstly, those 4 NPL women's games at 5 p.m. The Match of the Round, also the Battle of the Kids, Western Sydney Wanderers Academy versus Newcastle Jets Academy. Foul committed by Jessica Seaman there. And it's Wanderers versus Jets from Rudy Hill. With who else? If it's the women's Match of the Round, it's usually the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozder on the commentary there. Also at 5 p.m. from the Village Green in Kensington, University of New South Wales hosting Northern Tigers, called by Teo Pelizzeri. Meanwhile, the only MacArthur in this league, MacArthur Rams, hosting Sydney Olympic at Linwood Park. And I'll get back to that when after Prakash delivers this free kick. Crofts was up there, so were the Bulls, and I think last touch of Liz Gray for a goal kick. So, and there's the other 5 p.m. kickoff in NPL Women's. Up on the Northern Beaches, it is Manly United hosting Sydney University, with the team from the Beaches trying to get some revenge for Sapphire Cup defeat at the hands of Sydney University. I think that was last month. The League One Women's Match of the Round, so the feature game from the women's second tier for New South Wales. That's up on the Central Coast. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff at Plume Park, Central Coast Mariners versus SD Raiders, so that should be an excellent game. Between 2 contenders in League One Women's. Well done to whoever built the League One Women's streaming schedule. And if it's a game on the Central Coast, you know it's going to be Pete Pryor, the very voice of Central Coast football, with the commentary for you there. So after this one finishes, you're absolutely spoiled for choice. And I did mention the Sapphire Cup. Fortunately, these games aren't streamed at least until the semi-final stage, but we're at the quarterfinals for the women's knockout competition for Football New South Wales teams, and they're going to be a short turnaround for APIA, because on Tuesday the 3rd of June, 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Lambert Park, APIA Leichhardt hosting Northern Tigers. Then Wednesday, 4th of June, 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Sydney University Football Ground, with Sydney Uni hosting Mount Druitt Rangers. And Wednesday, 11th of June, 7 p.m. in Rooty Hill, Western City Wanderers Academy hosting University of New South Wales. As Phillips, pass broken up by Rose. Rose in a tricky position, and just goes down the line as far as she can. The final Sapphire Cup quarterfinal, details yet to be determined, but there's Valletta. Do the Bulls keep it? No, they don't. Do not. But the final Sapphire Cup quarterfinal, whenever that is played, it will be the last remaining local Premier League team in the competition. That is Coogee United from Eastern Suburbs. They host Macarthur Rams. And Coogee United, for the second consecutive year in the Sapphire Cup, they are the last local association team remaining. It's been a great run for Coogee. They also won last year's Champion of Champions, I think defeating Gymea United from Sutherland Shire. So they're clearly doing something right over there. There's Valletta. Throw in, headed by Chico. And now could be up for grabs here. Ball's pressing, but it is APIA trying to play it out, and the press has worked, paid dividends. Ball to Phillips.
Hey! Oh, come on!
Despite home team consternation.
No way!
Figale. Oh, but she got the ball there, but she's also given away. Here's Phillips, and the contact's not what she wanted, so Magus gathers possession. Magus goes long. Couple of headers. Here's Gray. Gray steps past Rose, and the centre back run coming up. Kilbride, and actually Kilbride's dealt with that expertly. She'll start an APIA attack. Here's Lancaster. Crofts wants the through ball. And Lancaster, it's on the left foot. To the edge of the box, but that's Prakash. It's a great challenge. And then driven in from Herban. It's over the crossbar. Now, wisely, Herban doesn't let it bounce, but she's forced deep, and then Prakash intercepts. Goes from range. It's not held by Magus, and will Lookmeyer settle for the corner? Yes, she does. Short corner. There's a bit of room. Cross delivered by Valletta. And then Fregale, under heavy pressure inside her own box, just decides to clear it into the fence. Now, good turn from Lookmeyer. Can she get the shot away? Siemens clearance, I think, hit a teammate. There's Souza in there. Last touch. Well, has that gone out? Yep. It eventually goes out. I think players just assumed it was going to be a corner. And it turns out to be a throw-in. Down the line. Souza. And came at an awkward height towards Janae dos Santos. Jasnos. deals with the danger as there's a little bit of multi-ball, which Janeo Dos Santos takes care of. Now, throw in from Melly. Bookmeyer providing the short option. Hoban has held off Prakash. Finds Walker. Walker, little look over the shoulder to see where Indiana Dos Santos was. Walker plays it to Chico. Rose. And Rose has not walked the tightrope on that occasion. Briefly, we're about the time when teams really like to make substitutions, so some players you could see in not too long. Of course, as always, I'm grateful for a commentary position which is behind the technical areas, not on the other side, because, yes, well, just say I'm not getting any younger. But for Bulls, backup keeper is Ashley Hughes. You could also see later on for them, depending on what Marty Garces wants, Ashley Henneberry, Anna Hogarth Scott, Daniela Naimi, Grace Johns, and Jay Guishon. Watch out. From that set of players, I'd watch out for Daniela Naimi, a player that started a lot of games in this competition. Very good option to have off the bench if you're chasing victory. While for APIA, their bench, as Rose is going to put Melly under pressure. Back to Namoto it goes. Namoto safety first. But APIA's backup keeper is Paige Cuthill. And their options are Mia Golding and Christina Kachicha defenders. Zoe Panagopoulos and Hannah McNulty are midfielders. Ashley Brodigan a midfielder or a forward. But since Ashley Brodigan joined APIA after the conclusion of her A-League women duties with Brisbane Roar, I think from memory she's been played more as a forward. So yes, likewise, APIA have good quality, lots of talent on the bench. Should Brad Attard wish to change things up. Bookmeyer leading the press for Bulls, but Seaman threads the ball through to Walker. And it's a lovely intercept from Valletta. The 1-2 with Phillips. Frugale. And Frugale, lovely ball with the outside of the foot to find Jasnos. Hoban. And Hoban looking to switch. Crofts knows to leave it because there's room for Alyssa Rose, and she's got options, including Jasnos heading to the edge of the box now. So the left back is on the edge of the box. Oh, that's a nice ball. Crofts, tight angle, and Crofts touch off Tamira Souza, of all people, defending deep in her own penalty area. APIA corner, and I could be wrong with this. I think that's APIA's first corner of the game. Now, you might remember what I said earlier. Charlotte Lancaster, in the time at APIA Leichhardt, has scored 3 goals direct from corners. And that's in the space of 1.5 seasons, and there's quite a crowd in front of the Bulls keeper Mia Nomoto. Lancaster, that's going to hit the side of the net, and that's pretty much a stock standard commentator's curse there, if I do say so myself. That's one of my KPIs meant for this game. Souza could be under pressure. Backwards to Gray. And Gray. Sorry, Namoto, my apologies. Going right to Melly. Melly, decent pass. And Prakash now back to Souza. Melly trotting forward. There is room. What a room. What are her options like? Tries to find the right ball. It's Phillips. Phillips is onside. Janeo Dos Santos to the far post, and it's too far. Her sister moved into the middle and just went straight over her head, so he couldn't get a sister act that time as APIA crossed halfway. Now Lancaster, decent ball. Crofts wants the ball early. Lancaster will go herself. Still Lancaster to deliver to the keeper. And Nomoto with the distribution low centrally. Gray retrieves it. Gray, head up. That will just go through to Magus. There's a run from Rose, and Rose almost played the pass. Jordan Jasnos getting more adventurous as the game goes on. There's a Bulls free kick, pretty straightforward decision. Foul against Janeo Dos Santos. Although I say Jasnos is getting more adventurous. It's also possible maybe she's on the side closest to us, so in the second half I can actually see it. Anyway, Lookmeyer keeps it away from 2, takes on the 3rd defender. Still with patience, and how's the 1-2? Jasnos got a body in the way. And Jasnos down the lines actually kept the ball in play.
Coach.
Took the ball down the line play, so Jasnos could win this throw, which she takes. Rebounds off Crofts. The Bulls throw. Phillips, who couldn't trick away past Kilbride. So throw in. Jasnos again getting plenty of action in the recent minutes. Down the line, and Gray, smart work, preventing Crofts from receiving the ball and turning. The usual solid performance from Liz Gray in central defence. Continues, at least my humble opinion, to be one of the best players at Bulls. So I do know quite a few people that are massive fans of Liz Gray, and I can see why here based on the way she has played. Which, if you're kind of less familiar with Bulls FC Academy, yeah, Liz Gray, always very solid at the back. As might be broken up by Indiana Dos Santos. Patria Phillips, now Lookmeyer, chance, and pushed away by Magus. And she did well to make sure the rebound didn't go right into the danger zone. But here's Janeo Dos Santos. Fakes and then crosses. Does it break for Prakash? It does. It was blocked by Fragale. Now, well, this game, 63rd minute, quite open already. And I feel feeling it's only going to get more open, as that's a very necessary header from a Bulls perspective. As that ball was aimed towards Ashley Crofts. And Liz Gray got the positioning spot on. And that's Phillips, not on the same wavelength that time.
Go.
Magus goes towards halfway. Rose did well to bring it down under pressure. Visitors working it backwards. Now it's with the Bulls and Valletta. That's a nice turn to get away from Hoban, but then almost gave it away, and it's Ferris instead to play forward. Jasnos, good burst of speed, and Jasnos gets past another defender. Crossing opportunity. And the cross was too low to beat the defenders in the middle before the Bulls almost get tangled up amongst themselves. Jasnos would have bounced in quite favor. She almost won it back. Janeo Dos Santos runs into Hoban's challenge. And that's going to be a throw. Now substitution coming up. And yep, that assistant nearest to us, Simon Ashari, has raised the flag. So it will be Anna Hogarth-Scott, who will replace the goal scorer for today, Tamira Souza. About 64th minute here. And so, fresh legs in midfield, it looks like that's going to be a straight swap that's been cooked up by Marty Garces.
Talk to me, Jess.
Holds off Hogarth Scott. Quick feet to get away from two more players. Jasnos facing forward. That's a nice ball. And Alyssa Rose, she's going to hold down R2. Does she keep it in play? Just ran away from her at the end. Going short, and Prakash centrally had room to turn. She'll take on Hogarth. That's great work from Prakash, running it into APIA territory. Now, Jasmine Melly, who appears to have swapped sides with the other fullback, Claudia Valletta. Indiana Dos Santos. Melly stayed forward. Decent in-swing delivery over Seaman's head.
Handball!
To be from Gray. I am exercising on my restraint to not react to that handball shout from the previous phase of play. I thought I was optimistic as Kilbride defends against Lukemeyer. Meanwhile, Ashley Brodigan set to come on for APIA. Now, and if Ashley Crofts is not the player to make way, we'll have double Ash for the visitors for the remainder of this contest. As Crofts applies the pressure, but the Bulls play forward. And the touch might work for Lukemeyer. Seaman gets the foot in. Hoban, a wonderfully timed tackle from Gray. And Jasnos decides backwards is the chance. Here's Lukemeyer pressing. It's a lovely dink ball. Oh, a lovely little chip from Sophie Magus. That's the kind of chip that wouldn't look out of place on the golf course behind us, or in front of us. A left foot like a little sandwich there from Sophie Magus. As Ashley Brodigan continues to wait to enter play. Kept in, and oh no, it wasn't. It was not. Now we're going to see Ashley Brodigan. And who's being subbed? Now, important to note, as I said earlier, in a little over 48 hours, APIA Leichhardt are hosting a Sapphire Cup quarterfinal against Northern Tigers. Very tough game, that one, so that might provide the context for some of the substitutions Brad Attar decides to make. Another excellent shift in the APIA midfield from Mona Walker. Brodigan is the replacement, and I do wonder, that does not look like a straight swap because Ashley Brodigan looks to have gone to centre forward. Jasmine Melly. Now Crofts can't get the touch past Gray. And caught and quite licked up with Lukemeyer. Runs through to Magus. Midway through the second half. 1-1 between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt. Both of those goals in the first half. Ashley Crofts scoring her 99th goal against NPL first grade in Sapphire Cup. With a penalty. 8 minutes later, Tamira Soze finding the equaliser. I remember watching those two play futsal back in the day. They grow up so fast. So that was my Ashley Crofts with I imagine a rare career double. Crofts has been both the NPL Women's New South Wales and the Futsal Premier League Open Women's Golden Boot at some point. As delivery from Janea Dos Santos off Kilbride's head is Indiana Dos Santos. Wants it on the right foot. lays it off. Here's the shot. Takes a touch and gathered. Rather comfortably by Max. In fact, she let it go out first. So before I forget, might as well do a shout out for next weekend's games, which of course you can watch the same way you're watching this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube page at the live tab. So there's 2 NPL women's games on Saturday the 7th of June. As Namoto, sweeper keeper work coming up. I think that's the earliest of the kickoffs next weekend. Is at the Arctic Circle with a Spirit FC. And their new star goalkeeper signing, Tiana Robertson, hosting University of New South Wales, who have got a star goalkeeper signing of their own, that being Sarah Langman. Sorry, A-League Women's Champion, Sarah Langman. So Spirit versus UNSW, 3 p.m. kickoff at the Arctic Circle, Saturday the 7th of June. As Regale has won a free kick. The other game on Saturday the 7th, 6:30 p.m. from North Taramara Recreation Area, with Northern Tigers hosting the Newcastle Jets Academy, and former Inter-Lions legend Annabelle Banfield will be calling that one. Oh, I forgot to self-promote. By the way, I'll be the commentator for Spirit versus UNSW on the 7th of June, Saturday, 3 p.m. As Melissa Rose delivers, and Crofts might get the touch, batted away by the keeper. Crofts again. Touch off Bulls. Corner. Can't believe I forgot to self-promote. That's embarrassing. So I might gradually shout out the rest of the games being played next weekend in NPL Women's. Sunday, 8th of June, here at Northbridge Oval, 2:40 p.m. kickoff. Bulls FC Academy hosting Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Oh, Miyamoto. That's how I feel like is as she rushed off the line but didn't get to it. It's going to be Seaman retrieving it with her old centre back mate, Liz Gray, in attendance. And Bulls trying to lead a counter. There's APIA numbers back, but Woodmeyer, her persistence has won a free kick. That's excellent work as Daniela Naimi is ready to come on for Bulls. 73rd minute here. While we wait for this, and in fact, a productive shift. No goal to show for it, but Janea Dos Santos has done well. After spending the most recent A-League Women's season with Canberra United, Janea is playing for the Bulls. She's replaced by Daniela Naimi. It looks to be a straight swap. Naimi going to right wing for Bulls as Liz Gray goes long, headed by Seaman. Back in by Prakash, and Seaman again has to cover against former teammate Naimi. Naimi, that's work. And Maga stays on his line. It's over Lookmeyer. Indiana Dos Santos. And the header is easy for Magus to collect. So it's only one. As they want the offside, and Bulls are going to get it offside against Alyssa Rose. And so we only have one Dos Santos. We only have one Dos Santos sister on the field now. And despite that Portuguese surname, because we have a couple of Maltese commentators in our commentary team, it would be remiss of me if I hadn't pointed out, yes, Indiana and Janea Dos Santos are part Maltese. And our friend Mel Muscat was delighted when she found that out. Headed out by Chico. And it's Chico again with the clearance. By the way, as I continue to talk about next weekend's games, next weekend's NPL Women's Match of the Round is at 3 p.m. Sunday, 8th of June from Lindblom Park, with MacArthur Rams hosting APIA Leichhardt. That's a rematch, obviously, of last year's grand final. Also, played big games. I remember incredible semi-final between the Rams and APIA, I think in 2022. And yeah, pretty straightforward pick for match of the round, that one. While as the throw-in is aimed at Phillips before Lancaster takes the ball away. Hoban back Let's put Chico under pressure. And Chico, did the ball stay in? It did for Hoban. Oh, sorry. No, I think that was Brodigan. My apologies. And Gray. There's the collision. And I think we get players, one player for both teams on the turf, so good to see Ashley Crofts is on her feet. And we're just going to have to do a check on Claudia Valletta as well. Yep, that's good to see. So, both players okay? No need for the physio to come on. The remainder of next weekend's games, so there's a trio of games 5 p.m. Sunday 8th of June. So firstly, Sydney University versus Illawarra Stingrays at the Sydney Uni ground. APIA wanted to make a double sub, but plays restarted, so Zoe Panagopoulos and Mia Golding will have to wait. Also at 5 p.m. in 7 days' time, Sydney Olympic versus Gladesville Ravens. And then to round off next weekend's action, Manly United hosting Western Sydney Wanderers Academy, as Valletta has been fouled there. But in 7 days' time, 5 p.m., Manly United hosting Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. And the Maltese friend in the commentary team, Ashley Borg, will be making the trip down from the Hunter Valley to call at Cromer Park. Gray eyes up and delivers kind of flat, but too straight from a ball's perspective. Straight at Sophie Magus. Guess what? More self-promotion time next weekend, in addition to Spirit versus UNSW, as Brodigan is offside. But yeah, will be the commentator for next weekend's League One Women's Match of the Round, Sunday 8th of June, 4:30 p.m. kickoff from Barton Park. St George FC hosting Marconi Stallions. Now, Teal Kilbride and Charlotte Lancaster making way. Replaced by Zoe Panagopoulos and Mia Golding. So, yes, Golding is going to right back for APIA. That means Claudia Chico, who very accomplished centre back. She's now at the heart of APIA's defence alongside Jessica Seaman. And see Panagopoulos into midfield, replacing Lancaster. As around the corner she goes. Cut back to Phillips. Seaman clears. More of a front two for APIA now, at least at certain times, as Gray once again finding herself in the way. Dos Santos, a little chop there to find Lookmeyer, but Chico gets the foot in.
Tell Brodigan she needs to get the jump to the ball. I want Brodigan to get the jump to the ball.
Pitch almost covered in, yeah, pretty much, yeah, definitely. Pretty much fully covered in shadow. Chico back past to Magus. Jade Gwishon is getting ready to come on for Bulls. And Jade Gwishon, formerly in the Manly United youth setup before making the short trip south, about 20 minutes or so, to play for Bulls. Jade Gwishon, quite young, I think. And already getting some first grade involvement for Bulls. As Phillips is on a run. Tackle from Rose. Indiana Dos Santos. But she stopped. Rose. Gray's in the way once again. Valletta clears. And then tumble from Lookmeyer, but no decision. Naomi turns and big tackle, very important tackle from Jordan Jasnos. Jasnos blocked by Valletta. Prakash, Lookmeyer not allowed to turn, and Chico plays it. Panagopoulos, plenty of space. Crofts is onside. Great. Down, going the other way. It might break for Lookmeyer. And Lookmeyer has prodded it towards goal. And in the end, Mia Golding retrieves. Jay Grishon continues to wait to come on. After work at left with Jasnos. The guy couldn't reach, so now Gray finding Valletta. Of course, time to be a good company man. The NPL Women's New South Wales, well, the reports both over the match of the round. I think Nicola Poster will be writing up the report for Wanderers versus Jets to be played later today when she finishes commentary. Fagali ping for the free kick there. Ping for the foul there. But yes, both Nicola Poster's report of Wanderers versus Jets and the wrap-up of the other 6 games, that'll be available later tonight on the NPL Women's New South Wales socials. As Jade Grishon is on, I think, for Jasmine Melly. So, looks like Jade Grishon is going to left back. Yes, her first year at the Bulls after joining from Manly. My sources tell me Jade's a real gem of a player. Let's see what happens in the remaining 9 minutes or so plus stoppage time. This time it'll be Valletta delivering the set piece. Flips off the APIA head, straight to Magus. Magus, headed by Hogarth Scott. Very touched by Prakash to bring it out of the sky. Grishon couldn't get through, but RP going the other way. So Namoto, good starting position. And actually a nice pass to Gray as well. Prakash thought about the early ball towards Naimi, instead a safer option. And then Valletta couldn't pick out Lookmeyer. Prakash. Now Hogarth Scott. Zinger tries to zing it towards Naimi. Instead it's Jasnos taking over. Fagali. Now stolen by Phillips. Phillips. Will be a goal still. Header, and Chico starts to leave it to Magus as Patria Phillips. I'm glad. It always irritates me when, not always worries me when there's a loose shin pad on the field, but Patria Phillips noticed straight away that she lost her equipment. As, well, it's going to be Jasnos racing through. Strong run there, and then she lost her footing just as she tried to turn. And check. Keep one eye on Jordan Jasnos. She is getting up slowly, but the important thing is she is getting up. Naimi, strong run. Goes Lookmeyer, and Lookmeyer's going to take on Chico. Chico got the ball. Got the ball. Who's complaining? Why would you complain? I'll just keep an eye on Lookmeyer. Yep, Lookmeyer's okay. May Golding might have run into a cul-de-sac there. Grishon did keep it in, but it'll run through, and Magus will be quite comfortable. This game has two teams really, two sets of fans waiting, praying for the moment of magic that will deliver 3 points. 1-1, courtesy of goals from Ashley Crofts. And then Tamira Souza, the game very much hanging in the balance. Crofts up against Ferris, plays it through, but Gray and Moto knew the ball was going out. intercepted by Hogarth Scott. Hogarth Scott, there's the ball to Gwishon. The ball was too straight for the newly introduced Bulls player. Down the other end, Ferris could be under a bit of pressure. And Crofts almost got all the way through. And Moto plays over the sideline. In the background, the APIA under 23s continue to warm up. Their game will commence after this one. Now, to the middle, flags up. Lucas Klosterhof. And we're seeing an infringement by APIA. The Bulls have survived that situation.
Come on, ladies, come on!
Off Chico's head. Then Gwishon, now Lookmeyer. Lookmeyer tries to go all the way. Yeah. Decent chance. And on the rebound, might break for Naimi. Blocked by Jasnos. Back in. And Magus gathers the cross. And Naimi finding a Jordan in the way. As a strong tackle from Gwishon, I think it was. Equally strong tackle. Panagopoulos. Fouled by Hogarth Scott. Oh, that was a big chance for Daniela Naimi about a minute or so ago. For Jordan Jasnos. The crucial block. Now trying to cross. Threads it through. Here's the chance. And maybe at the back post. That was a save in the end because Brodigan. Oh no, Brodigan was offside. Wouldn't have counted anyway. I mean, just looking around, not my place to say, but Bulls might want to turn the floodlights on soon. Just, as it's a foul again. Foul committed on Indiana Dos Santos. Oh no, there's another mission shimp out on the field. Hey, that's going to worry me. Naimi. More good work down the flank. Seaman holding a midriff after blocking that cross. Indiana Dos Santos. For Naimi. Now Dos Santos delivers. The touch off Phillips. Seaman trying to shield it, and Magus does gather. And wow. And
APIA!
I mean, without getting into too much detail, I hope our mics are picking up some of this crowd noise. But I won't say any more. But Lookmeyer stolen in there. Amber Lookmeyer, what a save from Magus. I did say Lookmeyer, she will press from the front. She does steal the ball from opposition players a lot. Turn and shot, drawing a brilliant save from Magus. Bulls corner. Valletta will deliver. Looks like she's going to try for an in-swinger. Gray's taking a position at the back post. Ferris is up there as well. And over Naimi's head. Chance maybe for Ferris. It is cleared. Chico sprinting after it. And Brodigan wants the long ball. It shouldn't get to her. And stopped by Gwishon. Brodigan to Jasnos. And Jasnos didn't know. I don't think she knew Valletta was there. So into the 90th minute here. What a turn from Gray. She's got plenty of options. And Lookmeyer couldn't reach it. Naimi should keep it in play. Oh, well. Another commentator's curse. So I'm looking at my stopwatch and the scoreboard. I know I started my stopwatch a bit late. I reckon that scoreboard started early though, so I think that clock's a little bit ahead of the actual time. As it's APIA throw. Now the whole game is flown by. The second half is flown by. Won't be too much stoppage time. There might be enough time for one more chance. Who will it fall for? Headed by Jasnos. There's someone to my left who doesn't know they're going to play time added on.
Done, Daddy. Go, Daddy.
This person to my left who just learned they play stoppage time in first grade. There, well, every day's a school day, as they say. And through ball, look with Myers offside.
Combos!
That can help me relax a bit. The floodlights have been turned off. That's good. So no delays to the under 23 game between Bulls and APIA that'll be played after this one. As breaks for Jess Seaman, potential for a run, but she might have overcooked it. Loses out to Prakash. And Prakash aiming left. Great positioning from Mia Golding. But yes, one last reminder of the games you can watch after this one. 4:35 p.m. Elora Stingrays versus Gladesville Ravens. And then there's 5 Football New South Wales women's games that you can watch at 5 p.m. But first, here's Hoban. Chance to play it into the middle. Deflects behind for a corner. I'll rush through these 5 p.m. games. It's Wanderers versus Jets, UNSW versus Northern Tigers, MacArthur versus Olympic, Manly versus Sydney Uni, and in League One Women's, that second tier match of the round, Mariners versus SD Raiders. Everyone back for Bulls. Ashley Crofts and Sophie Hoban in quite a close position to Miyamoto. Here we go to the near post, headed away by Gray. And Grishon plays it out. Anyway, just reminded everyone to keep an eye out for the NPL Women's New South Wales match of the round, which will be posted tomorrow, compiled by 321 votes from the media for each women's game over the weekend. APIA throwing in a decent position, and we've had about 2 minutes of time added on. So here's Golding. Hoban, stopped by Hogarth Scott. Leaves the ball for Golding. Crofts shows short. Off Gray, corner. But, hang on. And APIA are going to make a sub. So, it looks like it's Jordan Jasnos who'll get a little bit of an early mark. Christina Kachich, well, she has scored a couple of goals. She has scored goals from set pieces this season. Maybe she's on for this specific situation, and Kachich will have just enough time to get into the middle. Here we go. Keepers up. That's a hand on it. Brodigan lays it back. Fragale clips it in, and straight at Momoto. Momoto goes for distance. Golding. Decent ball. Hoban lays it off. Panagopoulos. And Panagopoulos blocked by Gray. And there's the full-time whistle. So the teams will share the points after a very entertaining game here at Northbridge Oval. It finishes 1-1 between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt. These two teams at the halfway mark of the season. Both goals came in the first half. Ashley Crofts scored her 99th goal across the League and Cup in her career with a penalty in the 26th minute. And then in the 34th minute, Tamira Souza found the equaliser after a scramble at a corner kick. Plenty of action, plenty of chances in the second half, but no more goals. And the two teams will take 1 goal and 1 point apiece from this game. And I hope you stick around. We've got Stingrays versus Ravens starting now. We've got 5 more women's streams that'll start at 5 p.m. and then a full set of action next weekend. Just one last plug. There is an Australia Cup Round 7 match Wednesday 4th of June at 7:30 p.m. from Gabby Stadium. Blacktown City host playing against SD Raiders for a place in the Australia Cup Round of 32. But for now, we thank you for your support for the Football New South Wales YouTube channel and NPL Women's New South Wales from Northbridge Oval, and on behalf of our broadcast partner, Sportcast Football New South Wales. And big thank you to our very patient camera operator, Sophie, for doing a fine job. But this is Eric Sibihano signing off. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Football New South Wales state competitions. Take care of yourself, stay warm however you can, and we will see you soon.